Welcome everyone to the VINCUBATION channel, and I'm so happy today. I have a distinguished guest, and this guest is a big icon in the real estate market space, and I definitely can't say much more words because his name is synonymous with vision, execution, and transformative real estate leadership in South India. And he's none other than Mr. Kalisetty PB Naidu, the founder and CEO of Yards and Feet Property Consultants. Mr. Naidu is an accomplished graduate in both computer science and law from Usmania University, and had completed his postgraduate in data analytics from London. Mr. Naidu brings a rare blend of technical prowess, legal acumen, and a global perspective to the world of real estate. Over the years, he has been instrumental in catalyzing retail and commercial growth across South India, with a keen specialization in taking real estate dreams from concept to creation. Whether it's designing and delivering state of the art shopping malls, multiplexes, commercial office spaces, luxury villas, high rise apartments, or navigating the complexities of land acquisition and hospitality ventures, this portfolio speaks volumes of a leader who builds not just properties but possibilities. We are thrilled to dive into his journey and insights today. And in fact, the reason, or I can say the biggest reason why I wanted to do this live stream and a series of podcasts with him was, we thought about there has been a lot of myths about real estate. There has been a lot of negativity which is spread about real estate, and we definitely wanted to bury this negativity, bury this myths with a top-notch person. And what's better than having Mr. Naidu ji? Welcome to the show, Naidu ji. Thank you so much for your time today. It is definitely an honor to have you part of this live stream. And I know there is so much you bring to the table. And I normally treat you as my elder brother because I've done so much of conversations with you, and every conversation brings a different set of thoughts about real estate from a different perspective. Until I converse with you, I had a different thoughts about real estate, but I think the amount of expertise you bring in, the amount of insights you bring in, is something Herculean. If I need to compare from the wisdom what you bring onto the table. So, without not much of being time wasted, thank you so much. Over to you, Naidu ji.
Thank you very much, Sushant, for this such a meticulous introduction. And I'm very glad to be on your show today. And real estate is all about possibilities. And if it is meticulously done, things will transform and which will be visible in the future. So, over a period of these 2 decades, what we have learned is that, the, the tricks and trade which makes people to learn the art of doing real estate. So, has been spent about 2 decades in the industry. Today, I impart a lot of knowledge to people like you and young budding entrepreneurs who come into real estate with a big vision. And being the first generation consultant, we have seen the transformation of the city in various aspects of real estate growth, whether it is retail space, commercial space, IT hubs, SEZ zones, all have come in my period only. All this 20 years of transformation has taken Hyderabad to a global stage.
Hmm, hmm. Great, great. So, one thing I always get surprised. I know your background. You've completed your law, and I know uh, Your family comes from a law background. In fact, you have told n number
Yes.
of times you
Yes.
got mentored by your father, who is also a law graduate and
Yes. Yes.
worked in high court. And then you did your postgraduate in data analytics from London Yorkshire University. With all these things, it surprises me what made you to enter into the real estate space, Naidu ji.
It's a long story short. It was an accident when I came out of a multinational company working as a software engineer, and I was not treated well, you know, because of the office politics. So when I came out, then I said, "No, that is not my cup of tea." So that's how real estate has entered into my blood.
Okay, okay. So, as every successful person goes through a lot of challenges, I'm sure you would have got through a number of challenges entering into the real estate space. That speaks about your story. Now, can I get to know, or in fact, our viewers want to know, what had been your initial challenges when you entered into the space? Because one, probably when you entered, real estate could have been a different space for you because you are from a non-real estate background. So there could be some burning challenges at that point of time. In fact, that could have also been an opportunity areas for you. So what has been your insights on this?
As my career began with the corporate, when I came to real estate, it was entirely a big vacuum.
Hmm,
There was no organized retail.
hmm,
There is no shopping malls or any such kind of modern activities were there.
hmm,
Retail was something which has attracted my attention because
hmm,
since childhood we know about brands, wearing
hmm,
brands.
hmm,
So there were no branch in the city at the time, except one gentleman used to be a Parsi. I
hmm.
cannot name brand on your show. So there was only one brand used to be there, and everyone used to flock. And then
Hmm.
I realized there's a huge amount of space which is available that can create a very big opportunity for me.
Okay.
So that's how if you want to buy a good denim, you have to go to Bangalore or you have to go to Delhi to buy.
Hmm,
So I found that space, that retail space is still empty. None of the
hmm.
guys were there in that portfolio. That's how I have entered that. And the challenging was, people never used to believe that Naidu, are you telling a truth that the brand will come here?
Hmm.
So that were the key challenges, and there was no format of
Okay.
a letter of intent or an MOU or a rental agreement, or there were no formats at that time. These were
Hmm.
all the processes that our generation have created for this such a lovely, beautiful platform today. What you see here.
Hmm. So, I mean, it brings me to a point. Considering you had been from a corporate background, I mean, you would have followed a lot of professionalism, and a lot of times I keep hearing about real estate as an unstructured area where I mean, you don't have any SOPs, or you don't have, unless you are from a big background again, you don't have any perfect templates or blueprints. So, could have been an opportunity area for you when you entered into it.
See, if you really go back at that time, the processes, the when I was associated with one of the very well-known property consulting company, I
Mm.
was hired. At that time, I was an instrument to tell them to do the ISO certification. That was the
Okay.
first time any real estate company has done the ISO certification.
Wow. Wow.
So, and there we created so many processes that today so many other realtors follow,
Mm.
like how to present a site visit, how to take the concurrence of the client, how
Mm.
to how to bridge the gap between two volatile natures, that is they come a tenant and the landlord, and
Okay.
putting across into the legal system and making ensure that the mutually contract will be there
Mm.
for the lease period. So these are the things that we have contributed to this area of real estate.
Awesome. Awesome. So, what has been your first breakthrough, Naiduji?
A breakthrough was something like a departmental store in
Okay.
center of the city.
Okay.
Nobody was aware about it,
Mm.
and we were the instrument to facilitate that deal.
Mm.
Uh, it is something like huge spaces were never occupied.
Okay.
So I was the one of the key facilitator to get this Hyderabad city the
Mm.
biggest uh, departmental store,
Okay.
which was based on a sublease clause, because the brand itself had a very low number of sub brands with them.
Oh.
So we have to accumulate more of the other brands, but it should be a seamless one. There is no
Mm.
shops in it. It is completely seamless. It's
Okay.
a one-side building on a barcode. You know, it made a news across the world. Sushant, I am very proud that I was part of that
Awesome.
transaction.
Awesome. Awesome. So, this brings me to the pointers. When did this commercial real estate and the shopping mall ecosystem got evolved in India? I'm speaking from the greater perspective.
See, if you it is the millennium. How the year 2000s, it was it was booming around.
Hmm.
When biggest multiplex chains from Delhi, from Mumbai,
Hmm.
and from Chennai, these
Hmm.
people have started the concept of multiplexes.
Hmm.
But when it came to Hyderabad, it is almost like 10 years. From 2010, we have seen a very huge amount of transformation happening in across the city of Hyderabad.
Hmm. Hmm.
Since the prominent places where CBD and adjoining CBDs, so
Correct.
these
Correct.
malls have come in. But again there was one fact which was missing. In the earlier stage, most of the detailing was ignored,
Hmm.
because that the shopping culture really, if you see across India, it has really given an energy from Hyderabad.
Oh.
There is one such kind of a reality that every brand in the country, if
Hmm.
they have to test waters to survive, is Hyderabad. If they
Okay.
survive in Hyderabad, they can survive anywhere in the country.
Okay. Good. 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 So that is a interesting point. So any brand which needs to be seeded and needs to be scaled has to come and enter into the city of Hyderabad to test its waters and then scale up its brand level. So that's a good, interesting point. Now,
Today I carry more than 12 such kind of brands on my shoulder. We have
I,
introduced,
I
like
can
we have
easily,
introduced,
I can
we
easily
have
imagine about
introduced
that.
the first the quick service restaurants,
Hmm.
the first premium fashion brands, and
Okay.
the first hypermarket, and the first multiplex too.
Wow. Wow. That's a quite an
This
interesting point.
this journey was completely into a very transformative, in terms of evolving ecosystem of real estate, which
Okay.
made today every location one of the most positive locations in terms of businesses, which has got established today.
Great. Great. Now, I definitely wanted to dive into the myths. I mean, I keep hearing about a lot of myths about real estate and overall ecosystem within real estate, whether it could be a commercial mall, whether it could be a retail leasing, or whether it could be anything with regards to land acquisition. There are so many myths which floats within this industry. I know this industry is the backbone for Indian economy, but still we keep hearing a lot of myths about this industry. So I definitely wanted some insights on this, Naiduji.
E- evolving business ecosystems and going with the trends is one of the most difficult tasks that we have seen in the growth. So
Mm,
one of the most typical myth that I always come, uh,
mm,
uh, in a book like Secret, it says if you build,
mm,
they will come. No, it's
mm,
not like that. The reality is, high occupancy does not guarantee high footfalls.
mm,
This is one of the myth that developers has to understand. Many developers have seen over a period of time leasing out all the retail units means success. No, it's not like that. Today, a shopping mall is of a engagement kind of a place
mm,
for a customer. How much time you can engage, what kind of a customer they are, and what kind of a mix that you are going to put in your mall.
mm,
That is the success. So if you come to the second one, most of the people say shopping malls are dying, Mr. Naidu. It gives me a very real a question mark to my profession. It's
mm,
not like that. The top tier malls are thriving today
mm,
in all the best locations. Today, the people who suffer is from the secondary markets
okay.
because it is not in the premium locations, or
Mm,
they they never follow a kind of a genre that is basically required to build a mall.
mm,
And other third myth today, what I see is
mm.
retailers need new warehouses for e-commerce.
My God.
So most of the micro level fulfillments are now they're playing very smarter play,
Okay.
very smart. Instead of building costly and new warehouses, many retailers are now they are repurposing their existing stores to fulfill their online orders.
Okay.
If you look at one of the high streets that recently I found, it got converted into an e-commerce dark store on a
Mm,
main road, on a main high street, which was
mm,
very prominent, very prominent. You can't just delete that. Okay. And the fourth myth that why I always notice is that leasing spreads the story.
mm.
It tells the whole story. Without a context, leasing spreads can be misleading.
Okay.
Can be misleading. The negative leasing spread does not always falling rents. For example, if you escalate a rent by 4% every year on year for 5 years, even the 4% drop renewal still affects your rental growth.
Oh, quite
Okay.
interesting subject.
Yeah. Lot of developers who have recently come in, I see that for them design is a secondary part.
Mm,
That's where the whole starts there, because he's not aware about an anchor where he should be placed. He will not have any awareness on what floor what brand has to come at what price it should be,
mm,
what is his ground floor tenant mix or the first floor tenant mix or going on, so and so forth. So for them space management is zero.
mm, mm,
One has to understand whenever they're doing a shopping mall, it is uh, um, revenue intensive, investment intensive.
mm,
You have to put a lot of money into it, and if you don't monetize, and if your
mm,
design do not support,
mm,
then this whole project go for a toss. I have seen so many such kind of projects
mm, mm.
in my entire career of these 2 decades. I have advised to people not to do this kind of designs, which
Okay.
will not give the flow of customers, or the kind of um, circulation, space management, utilization of dark spaces, entry, exit, how the customer flows, how they should be engaged with kiosks, where your coffee shop should be, where is your anchor tenant should be.
Mm,
All these things, in the modern malls, if you look at today, it is all about how you are going to engage and how you are going to fill those people. It's completely a tenant mix. Space management plays a vital, important role. If you don't have those spaces, you cannot expect that footfall to come in.
mm.
It is not that you have filled the mall. No. Engaging a client is engaging the customer who comes there, and you should make that kind of a mix that they have to spend money.
So it's not about the traffic. It's all about the engagement, creating the trust, creating the credibility. Then only that monetization happens about it. So, but
Absolutely.
this brings a very crucial call out to all my investors or real estate builders or developers who are starting their journey or who are having a lot of challenges. The best thing you should do is tag with Mr. Naidu ji. I have placed this link. I've placed this link in the YouTube in the description box. So please connect with him because the reason why I'm trying to call this out is like see these are all crucial points what he spoke about it. And in case if someone can capitalize on this kind of an opportunity, then you are making a gold mine. Okay, with that, I definitely, I mean, I've understood about your journey, I've understood about the breakthrough, I've understood about how the commercial real estate and shopping mall ecosystem has evolved. Now I've also understood about the myths. Now I wanted to understand how you are able to navigate legal complexities in real estate, especially high value multi stakeholder projects. I know you come from a legal background. For you, it could have been a simple playbook, but I definitely want your insights for the viewers.
as you rightly said, Sushant, if you look at real estate, it's only a subject, a particular
Mm.
subject, very focused.
Correct.
And you have a pre-described formats already.
Yes, yes.
Only one has to understand how the flow of legal should be captured between
Mm.
both the entities, which is safer.
Mm.
Now, if you look at any any kind of such multi-stakeholder concepts, that one
Mm.
has to start with the robust legal due diligence.
Yes.
This is one of the most important aspects about the ownership history.
Mm.
Whereas no assumptions. Most of the people, 98% of the people speak a legal jargon
Mm.
not knowing about the legality of it. So first the developer has to listen to the legal experts. No assumptions, right? And if you look at the encumbrance, lien, and pending litigation, these are all important things when you acquire any such kind of a real estate asset.
Mm.
People miss out on zoning. They don't know it in what survey number is what zoning is being described by the government.
Mm.
Okay, and land use. What are the permissions? What is the environmental clearances? Everything has to be meticulously done. I always use in most of my lectures. A single unclear title or outdated land record can derail the entire project.
Okay.
I'm talking about assumptions. No
Mm.
assumptions. There's no scope of assumptions. It should be on paper, it should be recorded, it should be available. There is no iota of doubt, no discussions to be encouraged.
Mm.
And second thing is understanding the regulatory landscape. You
Mm.
know, real estate is not so vast in terms of legality. One has to understand the complexity of it,
Mm.
the way people present. But for us, it is very simple to understand and to gather the information required to execute a particular transaction. Like, for
Okay.
example, uh, complying the central and the state laws.
Mm.
And after RERA, Real Estate Regulatory Development, which was incorporated in 2016, has given vast scope and which has minimized the paperwork,
Mm.
protecting both the entities.
Mm.
Today, you don't have to go to so-called lengthy court cases and all.
Mm.
After data deployment, lot of changes which has come in terms of industry. That's the reason why today the real estate industry is thriving.
Mm.
Okay, so if you look at the Transfer of Property Act 1882,
Okay.
it was it was in the Britishers' time.
Mm.
Property Transfer Act was there, and
Mm.
still till date we follow it. And
Mm.
the Land Acquisition Act recently, which came in 2013, it's all tells about the specifics, gives you the insights, and makes your paperwork much smarter
Mm. Mm.
and much easier. Okay, so we have to be very we should be aware about a country like India, which we follow certain
Mm.
systems. So we have to look at the intricacies of the laws. So
Mm.
before acquisition, as you said, when you have multi stakeholders,
Mm.
structure stakeholder agreement has to be carefully drafted.
Mm.
The draft, which has whether you call a memorandum of understanding or whether you call a joint venture agreement, shareholder contracts, defining their roles and responsibilities and exit clauses.
Mm.
There is no I believe you, I trust you, you believe me. These are the words which will be excluded from the conversation. It has to be captured on the paper in a right context. Okay. And if you look at the exit clauses and the dispute resolutions, these mechanisms has to be understood by everyone.
Mm.
Tomorrow you can't say I don't know what has been drafted there. You can't say that. And you know, basically this particular chapter of you have triggered me something else. You
Mm.
know, ambiguity in stakeholder roles is a recipe of a litigation.
Correct, correct.
So, so, and when we are navigating a project, aligning the financing with the legal safeguards
Mm.
is the other part. He may be a vendor, he may be a supplier, he may be a labor contractor, or he may be an architect, maybe an engineer, or whoever it is. We have about 18 verticals in real estate.
Mm.
Okay. So, inter-creditor agreements. What is a credit line of suppliers?
Okay.
Multiple lenders are involved in how you're going
Mm.
to protect the taxations. This is how the tax acts. Ensure loan covenants, align
Mm.
them with the project milestones so that the legal approvals are in place. And although in every document there should be a force majeure clause,
Mm.
indemnity clauses to recover, and protect against delays and regulatory changes. Whatever change, let the changes come.
Mm.
Make the document ready according to the changes which has come in front of us.
Mm.
Let it be one addendum also. Let us make a document so that the project goes smoothly. This is one such aspect in over my career I have seen. I'll tell you one small thing, Sushant.
Yeah.
You know, have you heard about reverse lock-in?
No.
So that was the first time when I introduced the very famous quick service restaurant of
Mm.
America in Hyderabad.
Mm.
So I received about a 300-page document.
Okay.
I read the document since I come from a law background. I know what has to be seen.
Mm.
So I see one clause there. They say that the tenant is locked in for 3 years.
Mm.
The tenant is locked in for 3 years, whereas the landlord is locked in for 33 years. At that time, it is very difficult to understand. It used to be a one sided story.
Mm.
And they never burst. We have done about more than a dozen transactions for them. Still, we are
Okay.
doing for them.
Okay.
But the clause never changed, Sushant.
Oh, quite interesting.
And when I
Because I
when I
haven't
when
heard
I
about this, so
when I
it's
when I sit
definitely
with
a insight for me.
you
Yeah.
know, when I, when I sit with them, yeah, when I sit with them, they say, Naidu, if the business doesn't perform, whom to be blamed? No one. Nah? So
Mm.
we will walk out safely. But business is thriving,
Mm.
and the landlord wants to come and ask me the escalated rents
Mm.
or the revised rents.
Mm.
So he should not have asking me because he's locked in for next 33 years.
Mm.
So one has to understand how it goes. Now today we have lot of legal embedded strategies, Sushant,
Mm.
especially for the project execution. You have construction contracts with the flexibility to design the contract changes and all. ensuring the compliance. All these are very important, which plays for the project success.
Correct. Correct.
And if you come like today, the transparency is that we should follow the buyer says about following RERA.
Mm.
This includes everything
Mm.
because register the project under RERA, disclose all the relevant details, avoid misleading in advertisements,
Mm.
and all informed sale agreements. Maintain your regular updates so that that escrow compliances whenever a project is done in lieu with RERA, when your project is registered, it is the RERA has an escrow account. A RERA account is separate.
Mm.
RERA protects the buyers.
Yes.
RERA ensures the compliances.
Mm.
So buyer can be rest assured. See
Yes.
today, if you look at the real estate surge which is happening,
Mm.
the kind of processes which has taken over today,
Mm.
there is no traditional ways. Everything is transparent, visible over the internet, put onto the website. You just go into the project, what are the approvals they have got, what are the red flags they have got. Everything is visible.
Mm.
It becomes a collateral by itself to for a buyer to invest money. There are some instances still I never forget. There are few clients, few transactions that I have done. They did not even visit the site.
Mm.
They said we are sending you the money now. You just procure it and make the registration ready. We'll come and register.
Because everything is already there digitally, and
Absolutely, absolutely.
we get the
And
information. And in the field of or in the generation of AI, I keep hearing about a lot of prompt engineers doing a lot of research about the property, getting to know about the entire details about the property. So, in fact, AI agentification is also happening in this the real estate space. So, yeah,
the
whatever you
last,
said
the
is
last one
right.
which I want to bring it to your notice is about the dispute resolution.
Mm,
When you do the legal documentation for the acquisition of the property, and
mm,
when you have multi stakeholders involved,
mm,
prior to launching the product, we
mm.
should plan our dispute resolution. It should be very clear.
Okay.
We should include arbitration clauses,
Mm,
which will simplify things. Consider mediation,
mm,
which
mm,
is much simpler. So these are the clauses that you have to embed into it.
mm.
And keep your documentation airtight. So, to support your position of litigation arises.
Okay. So overall, you can say or confidently mention that RERA is definitely a game changer.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Okay. So now that you have given a complete insights about the legal complexities and the things what any developer needs to take into consideration, or any buyer and investor need to look out, what are your three, I can say, top three consideration you must keep in mind before acquiring any property or acquiring a land?
See, basically, when you look at the domain of land, is one of the most important aspect. First is assess the location.
Mm,
Then you go back and sit on the legal documentation of the title,
mm,
location, title, and proximity.
mm,
How it is currently, how it can grow
mm, mm,
in next 5 years. What is such kind of areas, which are basically missing areas, in all the given circumstances. Whenever you see a location, you have to understand about the neighborhood and what kind of a neighborhood it is, and in next 5 years, how it is going to thrive. What are the possibility of thriving? That is very important. If you look at few zones of east, or you take north of this Hyderabad, you see some of the places are still thriving to grow
Mm.
because lack of the economic there are no economic drivers over there. There's no
Mm.
IT, or there's no MSMEs, or there's no kind of industry. One has to come all the way to west.
Mm.
Now today, if you look at the way the south is taking the south part of the Hyderabad,
Mm.
I was just writing about Malabar Gold today.
Yeah,
My
I
friend of
saw
mine,
that article. I saw that
yeah,
article. It was quite interesting. Yeah.
my friend calls me and says, "Now you have attached one more economic driver to Hyderabad." Yes, we are. We are at a global stage.
Yes.
If you,
Yes.
if you look at few locations which how they are going to thrive, Sushant,
Mm. Mm.
you take more towards north, you have biotech. You go more towards south, the international airport, pharmacy, aviation, ACZs. You come to the west, it thrives with IT and ITS. You know,
Mm.
those locations, people who, and this is one such gold land in Hyderabad, that in last decade, whoever have invested money has
Mm.
tripled the money.
Mm. Correct.
That is one of the key stories today, that the kind of people whoever are watching me has to buy this point.
Mm.
Assess the location, look at the 5 years growth, try to analyze the economic drivers around them, and do the best math, which is very simple.
Okay. Okay. So this brings me to a point that real estate is booming in Hyderabad, and there is no negative phobia about Hyderabad is getting stuck, or Hyderabad is not moving forward. So definitely it is moving forward, and definitely it is thriving in. That's what the point you wanted to drive in. And I wanted to bring it to the entire viewers that yes, Hyderabad is booming in.
Yes. See, there are few important aspects that we are not growing by luck.
Mm,
We are not going growing by luck.
mm,
We have a talent pool.
yes.
We have a very moderate kind of spending.
Mm,
We are not costly. It's an affordable city.
mm,
You have entertainment. You have all the cultures which are there in the world. It is there in Hyderabad.
mm,
And moreover, if you see the kind of new generational real estate developments which are coming, it's at par with the world. There is no need for Trump reality has to come and do a project here.
mm. That is true. Correct.
Now you say Mr. Naidu, Lieutenants of Delhi. Yes, Lieutenants of Delhi, right? But where is the second Lieutenants of Delhi? That's in Hyderabad.
Mm,
Look at the kind of multicultural people who live here. You have a Bengali here, you have a Tamilian, you have a Kannadite here, you have a Kashmiri here, you have a Oriya guy here. Everyone is ready to live in this place.
Mm,
Food, job, startup ecosystem, biotech, aviation.
mm,
You take all the 12 economic drivers across the country, it is there in Hyderabad. Why not?
mm.
Why not?
True, true.
Why out of 44 GCC global capability centers, already 14 are in place?
Yes, yes,
That's in Hyderabad.
yes.
Amazing. Amazing. And definitely it is one of those global cities that you can
Mm,
name.
correct.
In my prediction, it will take only a couple of years.
Absolutely true. I mean, when you mention about the GCC, I know I used to represent my company in the NASCOM meetings, and we used to get the. I mean, particularly, I used to attend the GCC meetings only. We used to have only probably five or six GCC heads used to attend the meeting in the NASCOM. Now I see. I mean, the last time when I attended, I see almost like 15 to 16 GCC heads are coming in. So that speaks about the um, that speaks about the credibility. That speaks about the trust. That speaks about the potential. What the onshore companies are looking to set up their offshore centers at Hyderabad. So Hyderabad is definitely priming in, and it definitely has a loads of intellectual capital.
The new generation which is now came in,
Mm,
who have lived in Western countries, and they
mm,
have seen that,
mm,
what exactly is the build quality,
mm,
what exactly is required,
mm,
what exactly the kind of environment should be.
mm, mm.
So this has really transformed 360 degrees of real estate today.
Correct, correct.
See, today there was one such article that I posted in my LinkedIn about NRIs coming back. Most of the
Yes,
expats, they are coming.
yes, yes,
I have got about 10, 12 such calls from US and stating that, Naidu, it makes sense. Uh, we have really forgot our roots.
mm,
But the kind of work that I'm doing there, I can do it in India also.
yes,
The
yes.
kind of a villa that I'm staying in US, I can have here. The
Mm,
only problem with the Western country, I do, because I'm an Indian, I came from the other country. At any point of time, they can throw me out.
mm,
But who can throw me out of my own house?
absolutely. That is true.
I need that facility where I am staying in US. The same thing I'll replicate it here.
Mm,
And today, that was the catch that the young entrepreneurs have caught. And now today, you see the growth, and it's
yes,
going globally.
yes, yes. True. Perfect. So this brings me to a last question for the day. Um, Naiduji, you would have seen from design to launch, I mean, various critical phases that define whether real estate project will succeed or not. So, can you name any few instances where you saw something in a troubled state to a success state?
Sure, sure. You see, this last question is very intense question, Sushant. I think you have meticulously drafted my interview today. I'm very thankful to you to bring my intellectual capital out.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
This is very close to my heart.
Mm,
Yeah, most of the developers never understood the gamut of doing a project from a design to launch.
mm,
There's a lot of disconnects,
mm,
because he says I know everything, but he doesn't know
mm,
anything, because real estate laws have changed.
mm,
There are very specific areas have got developed.
mm, mm,
An architect, if you say he's an experienced architect, in today's world it doesn't work.
mm,
You need more creative people,
mm.
economically viable, and a very sustainable real estate products. So today
Particularly,
people,
there has been so much of digital transformation. You need some,
absolutely.
you need a lot of creativity, and that too, AI is not hogging the limelight actually.
I still remember in one of the cases that I am handled about a couple of years back after the post COVID, a project was literally suffering from the sales.
Mm,
So it was a villa project, a very prominent location.
mm, mm,
So I've been called to do so. When I've gone through the entire records, I literally said to the developer, "You're not organized.
mm.
If you're organized, you don't need me at all. It's a very simple thing that you have to organize." So
Correct.
people miss out on simple things and end up losing their profits.
Mm,
What we see is from the day one, it has to be organized. It has to be, it has to be, it has to be calculated much before the project takes off.
mm, mm,
Whether you take design or whether you take the contracting of contractors, finalizing the contractors, how your office should be, what the office should contain, what should be your creatives, everything has to be freezed.
mm.
How the pricing you're going to decide. Don't ever decide your price by just comparing with others.
Correct.
This is one of that aspect which most of the developer never agreed to my point.
Mm,
And I used to say, sir, what is your cost to company? Let's put that cost to company first. Let's put the taxation into first. Then we will do the pricing. What is that we have to get in the first go?
mm,
So we do the funnel system. You
mm,
know, the back end office is one funnel, that how much of recurring cost will come.
mm,
The second funnel is the construction funnel, that how the growth is going to come, at what percentages, at what stages.
mm,
And the third one is the branding and the marketing.
mm,
All on the top is your sales.
mm,
So most of the developer, they have done the betting on their own guts,
mm,
or not even having minimum margin money, they have started the projects.
mm, mm.
So these people have came across n number in my career. And the project which I was speaking about, the villa project, we could able to streamline the project within 4 months.
Okay.
And we did the cash flow management. We made the branding to work.
Mm,
We used the best of the best AI tools.
mm, mm,
We have integrated with the print and the offline media.
mm,
So focused SEOs, the kind of clientele that we have built was really awesome. We could able to finish the project. He said that, sir, it's not only about sales, Mr. Naidu. You should be there till the project end. So
mm,
that also brings one of the greater challenges, is that what is your post operations?
mm.
You have given the villa to them. So what? about the services, how the
Correct.
guarantees and warranties will work.
Mm,
Who
mm,
is going to replace that street light bulb? And who is going to take care about your community gathering? So
mm,
all these things, is one of those aspects which is required to be done initially, so that the project goes smoother. Any
mm,
such kind of a turbulence comes in, it should be assessed much before.
mm.
See, for us, it is 98 is to 2%.
Yes.
We see any developer or any such kind of corporate companies which comes in, we say a 2% of chances will be there that
Mm,
an adverse situation. If any calamity comes, we cannot guarantee you.
yes.
But the processes what we derived is 98% of
Mm.
success, and I carry that on my shoulder.
Great, great, great insights, Naidu ji. So this definitely brings to the closure of our podcast series. Now, I definitely wanted to call out to the entire viewers. This is not the end of all podcast series. We wanted to do much more because of the time constraints. I can't do everything in one show, so I definitely wanted to split up into a series of meetings. I've already, with a lot of push, I've taken some time out with Naiduji because he's one such person who's constantly conversing with investors, developers, and working with so many projects. And there's been a lot of people who enter into his office day in day out with with such a busy schedule. Getting his time itself is a big thing, and we definitely wanted to do this series of meetings to create that awareness, to create more possible solutions for the developers, possible solutions for the investors, and also the buyers. And more than that, we also wanted to do a brand vibes about Hyderabad. It is all about how we could project Hyderabad as the destination center for real estate and for intellectual capital. So that is also which was running in our mind, and um, I'm so happy today that at least we could make the first footprint and a first step towards brand Hyderabad. Okay. So thank you so much, Naidu for your time, and I also thank all the viewers for taking time to view this. I know people who couldn't view this live stream, they would definitely have an option to check out the replay. So with that, thanks, a big thanks to the viewers, big thanks to Naidu.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye bye.